Hi everybody, and welcome to the weekly video tutorial for week 2 of Unit 4. This week we're going to be looking at activity analysis, and you'll be investigating the key concepts around activity analysis, and you'll also be required to undertake one. You should have, or you should very soon receive a DVD, and that will contain a couple of sets of tennis under which you will need to watch and you will need to undertake the activity analysis. Activity analysis, first of all, involves the collection of data. This is really important for both coaches and athletes. It can be analysed to enable suitable fitness testing and training programs to be developed to suit the specific needs of the athlete. Obviously, in this case, the specific needs of a tennis player.
Okay, and it's really important that different examples of this data might include skill analysis, and by that we mean how many shots and different type of shots are played, and what I'm referring to tennis because that's the most common sport that will be most of you will be conducting your training program around. So, for example, how many times player hits a forehand, backhand, smash, serve, and so on. This is linked also with the muscle groups and muscle action. So that's really important when we're designing our training program. Movement patterns. So again, how far the athlete, and again referring back to tennis, how far they actually move, and whether it's a sprint, jog, walk, and so on. So the intensity of the exercise, and also the work to rest ratio. By collecting all of this data, we'll then be able to determine what energy systems, what fitness components, and what muscle groups are required for the particular tennis player. Then we'll be able to use that information to develop a suitable training program.
Okay, so there's a range of different data collection methods that you can use. Obviously, the most basic one is called observation. Videotaping will be another method, and that's kind of what we're doing by providing you with a set of men's and women's tennis. Heart rate monitors can be used, as well as pedometers. So, as Sean said, the data can be that you will be using will be used to collect information related to the second dot point. You must collect data for movement patterns and intensities and work to rest ratio. The key of doing the work to rest ratio is that it informs you of the key energy systems that are required for tennis. Once you're aware of what those key energy systems are, you're then able to develop a training program which aims to improve those particular energy systems. Obviously, it's going to be a fairly complex activity doing the activity analysis, so that we suggest that you might like to watch the video more than once because you're going to be collecting a range of different data, or you might also be able to co-opt a friend or family member to help you in the collection of the data.
And just to add to that, it's really important that you are watching it a number of times, because if you're doing it correctly, you're concentrating on one particular aspect of data collection. You'll also notice in the DSV textbook, week 2, page 4, that there are examples of how to collect movement patterns, and also on week 2, page 6, there's an app, a free app, which will assist you in calculating the work to rest ratios. We strongly encourage you to use these, as then your data will be closer to being accurate.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that that Time Motion app is a free app, and if you use it, is going to make it a whole lot easier for you. So we'll just quickly show you the game of tennis that you're going to be looking at. We'll press play. Okay, so the skills are backhand, backhand,
Forehand.
backhand. Okay, the movements are resting here, but you'll notice particularly in tennis there's a lot of sideways movements, movement from one side of the court to the other side of the court, and obviously occasionally they'll be going into the net.
When you're calculating your work to rest ratios, it's really important to, again, this is mentioned in week 2, page 5, that any movement that is standing still, walking and slow jogging is considered to be rest. So as we've just seen, Djokovic has been resting quite a lot, whilst all other movements will be classified as work. It's also important to understand when Mel was talking about which shots were being played and when we're actually collecting data for those shots, that it's linked directly back to the muscle groups. So you need to have a good understanding of that because again, all of this data is going to be used when you're determining what training program and what exercises are involved in your training program, and if you're aware of that, then it'll make it a lot easier for you.
Okay, so just in terms of winding up, this is a fairly complex week's worth of work. The actual activity analysis and the data collection is going to take you a considerable amount of time, but if you take the time to break it down and collect the data in the 4 different areas, you're going to have a really good idea of the demands that are placed upon a tennis player, and once you've sorted that out, it's going to be fairly easy for you to then determine the objectives of your 6-week training program. Once you've got your training objectives set, all you need to do then is select your training methods and start to develop your 6-week training program. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this week from Sean and I. We hope you enjoy the opportunity to undertake an activity analysis, and we'll be back again shortly.
Bye for now.